DR.AyieraJR Jr., a serial entrepreneur based in Kenya. When I say serial entrepreneurship, I mean I run multiple businesses and I understand the pros and cons of being an entrepreneur in especially a Kenyan environment. When I say serial entrepreneur, what do I mean by that? It means I run multiple businesses and understand the pros and cons of being an entrepreneur, especially in Kenya and in Africa in general.
Check the scoreboard, yeah.
You need to look the part. You need to look the entrepreneur. You need to look good.
But I'll win. You got me set for life. Angels in heaven.
Nobody talks about the faith that you need before you start seeing the results.
You got me set for life.
Welcome to Faith, until we make it.
So I'm just a girl that was born and raised in Mawawa. Mawawa ni ushago tu ingine hapo ndani ya Nyamira County, uko ndani. I grew up with my grandmother. She was among the richest human being that's in that area. Tulikuwa tunakaa kwa mansion bana, msitake jua. Lakini kwa hiyo mansion hata kukuwa na fridge, nothing. The first time I ever saw a fridge is when I went to high school. So I went to high school, an Adventist school called Segero. Then I went for my undergraduate in Mombasa. Mombasa really shaped me. I went to Technical University of Mombasa. It really shaped me. I was doing activations here and there. That is where I started my journey. Then I moved to Nairobi for my postgraduate. And Nairobi has really refined me as an entrepreneur. I cannot talk about DR.AyieraJR without introducing my grandmother, Mama Jelia Keborindubi. She really nurtured me. I grew up with her. When I opened my eyes, yani nilijipata nimekaa kwa hiyo nyumba. Yani hata sijui, I never saw my parents, I think, paka nilifika 4 years or something like that. That's when I started understanding these are my parents and this is my grandmother. So I grew up with my grandmother. She really shaped me. She was a woman of steel. She loved God. She used to go to church, pray for everyone. She had friends. She was a wealthy woman. When nakukuwa na mansion huko ushago ni mchezo. I'm not even kidding you. It was a mansion, a 7-bedroom mansion that we used to stay in. But unajua ushago, those things like fridges, as I mentioned, asikuwa nimeona fridge ukwelo, ni the fact that it did not make sense to her to have it, but she could afford then. So, as I've mentioned, she was a very good woman. She loved God. She could go to church. She made a lot of friends. Let me talk about one story that is very memorable to me in my head. She really had a friend. Where we used to stay, it was a camp, yeah, askari. She made a friend there. Then that friend, she converted her to SDA. So when she converted her to SDA, when she was that woman, the husband got transferred to another camp. They spent the entire time crying, the entire afternoon. That woman came until my grandmother died to visit her almost on a monthly basis. So that is one of the stories, the memories I can remember of how good she was to people. We had people wenye hawakuwa na chakula. Hapo kwetu kulikuwa na watu wamejaa wanakuja kukula kwa grandmother. She was really a kind woman. Above that, she was an entrepreneur as well. She had a big farm. She could farm, sell stuff. Actually, she was very good in selling rather than farming. So she had outsourced people to farm. Then she could go and sell. And my mother got into entrepreneurship as well. But she really shaped me as an entrepreneur. She really shaped me. The good characters that I have ni za grandmother yangu. Hizo zingine zote ni zenye nimeokota kwa hii dunia. Hizo mbaya ni zenye nimeokota kwa hii dunia, please. So mkiniona niki kwa mbaya mjue tu dunia ndio imenifunza. But my grandmother was kind, nice, loyal, faithful, a woman of steel. She knew what she was doing. She was the best person that you would have ever met in your entire life. So stick to this channel so that someday when I am in this journey of making these vlogs, you can get to understand who my grandma is. I can talk about her in a full episode so that you can get to see how she grew up. She actually got married at 30. Can you imagine that? Who gets married at 30 and she was born in the 1930s? So she was a very beautiful woman and she had very strong values that she had as an individual. And I want you to stick around so that you can listen to about her. You can listen me talk about her because she was so dear to me, and she's someone I want to bring to the world. Why faith until we make it? Because this podcast is called Faith Until We Make It. Because sometimes the journey does not require hassle, it requires faith. And this podcast, it will be there to inspire young girls that just grew up in a village like me. They might not have grown in a village, but it is to inspire young girls that you can make it if you put your mind to. Apart from that, is people that are starting their entrepreneurial journey. So it is a very slippery journey. This podcast will help you navigate your entrepreneurship journey by someone that just started. I did not have a mentor. I do not have a mentor right now. Kila siku ninamkanga nikilia, sijui watu hawajalipa mshahara, sijui nini hajafanyika sawa. I just want to mentor people that are starting the journey in entrepreneurship. So stick around, as I've mentioned. And another thing is I've really loved doing content. I've been loving doing content. In 2018, when I finished my undergraduate, nikaenda Eldoret. I was teaching PR in a certain college that is called Elgonview College. I don't know if it's still there at the moment. And now I got exposure to cameras, and I'd done journalism. Nikasema sasa mimi ndio nitakuwa advisor wa mapenzi. Oh my goodness, I need to cry. Nikasema mimi ndio nitakuwa advisor wa mapenzi. I started content on advising people on love. I was in love. I was in a relationship then. Then what happened is I go through a heartbreak. I think I was on episode 6. Nikaamka siku moja na nikadelete hizo matakataka zote zenye nilikuwa nimeweka huko YouTube. So, but either way, I've loved doing content. And now, because I understand the entrepreneurial journey better, I've gone to that direction rather than advising people on mapenzi. Tafadhali msini advice na nisiwa advice. Mkiniona nikiwa advice msijaribu kusikiza. Because I am going through a heartbreak throughout. Niko tu. Sasa bwana, after kufuta hizo matakataka za love na kuwa advice on love, I went back to being an employee. Nikaanza kutafuta kazi, nikapata kazi. I worked in various organizations, but I'm a very terrible employee. And I've mentioned this in previous podcasts, probably I've been interviewed on. I'm a very terrible employee. That is the reason now I decided to get into entrepreneurship. After I got into entrepreneurship, there were scenarios, things that were happening that really made me think, wachani put my story out there so that people can learn from what happened to me. An example, siku moja ma employees wangu wamekataa kuja kazi wote. Niliamka na nikaandika email kila mtu ninamfuta bwana. Kwanza Ryan ndiye alikuwa ananiambia, Ryan is our IT person. Akaniambia futa watu wote bana. Then now I came to realize that you cannot run a business with emotion. So having realized that and learned along the way, that is the reason why I am back. And because I love to do content, now I am talking about faith until we make it and talking about my entrepreneurial journey, and I'll talk about other people's entrepreneurial journey in future episodes. What should you expect from me in this entrepreneurial journey or in this podcast is we'll be talking about my entrepreneurship journey, other people's entrepreneurship journey, their businesses, how are they taking them. So we will be posting on a daily basis, especially on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Then on YouTube, we'll be posting on a weekly basis. So just follow that journey. You can follow us on our social media pages. The other TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. But on YouTube, we'll be posting once a week. And when I go for businesses, I'll tag you along so that we go for business trips together. Apart from business trips, we can go to these meetings here and there that we do with other entrepreneurs. How do they look like? What are we learning on a daily basis? So those are some of the things that you need to expect in this podcast that I'm bringing on board, which is Faith Until You Make It. And before I close on today's podcast, I just want to talk to one person. Wewe mwenye ulipatiwa pesa ya Nyota Fund wewe, ama wewe mwenye umepatiwa pesa na parent wewe uanze your journey, ama umepatiwa na your husband, your spouse, in whichever way uanze this business journey. You are the person that I want to talk to, because I will be taking you through this entrepreneurial journey. You will walk with me. I will walk with you in this journey so that you can pick up lessons and learn from me what I have learned, what I've accumulated, and you are the person that I'm targeting on a daily basis so that we can grow together. By the time we are on episode 95, your business is already up and running, and you have insights from people that have done it without mentors, because I'll be mentoring you. Thank you for joining us today, or joining me in this journey today, and expect me to be here next week. Na by the way, mbona hujasubscribe? Please subscribe to this YouTube channel and follow us on our social media platform on DR.AyieraJR Jr. or follow me. I forget, nafikirianga tuko wengi. Ni mimi na entrepreneurship jani yangu na hiyo kitu yote. So follow me on my other social media platform, that is TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, so that you can get the shorts, the everyday reels, encouragement, etc. Na msubscribe. Na munifollow. Na tuendelee na hii journey. So see you next time, guys. Bye.
Check the scoreboard, yeah.
You need to look the part. You need to look the entrepreneur. You need to look good.
But I will. You got me set for life. Angels in heaven.
Nobody talks about the faith that you need before you start seeing the results.
You got me set for life.
Welcome to Faith, until we make it.